So recently I've beaten and near 100% completed the latest Kirby game, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and a bunch of others did too, as it received an 8 out of 10 from IGN and users mainly giving it a 4 out of 5 stars from their own personal experience with the game. Now originally, I wasn't going to make this into a video, but I got to thinking, what is it about Kirby games that makes them so appealing? While I do enjoy them, it's obvious Kirby games aren't the most innovative or most groundbreaking Nintendo titles. That's why in this video I've decided to revisit the older Kirby games with the help of the NES and SNES Nintendo Switch Online services to come up to my own conclusion as to why these games are so fondly looked upon. And I also conducted a deep dive into reviews and asked other people what they think about them. What up, people of the internet? My name is Spoke to the Plug, and this is what makes Kirby games so fun and appealing. Again, I have to start off by saying that this isn't a jab at the Kirby games or an attempt to make fun of them by any means, as the Kirby franchise is many people's favorite types of games. I understand why Kirby as a character is appealing. He's small and pink, and well, he's just overall adorable in every sense of the word. The games, however, I was generally wondering, and I'm excited to share with you guys what I came up with. So the first and most obvious thing that I touched on earlier is just Kirby's design. Not only is he cute, but he's easily recognizable. Almost on the same level as Mario. His expressive and iconic look not only makes his kids like him, but players of all ages like him. It's a nice change of pace from our standard video game protagonists that we've grown so used to. Another thing is Kirby's mechanics, being able to fly, which in earlier games seemed like an indefinite amount of time, and Kirby's copy ability, and ability to inhale enemies. Since Kirby doesn't really have an attack button per se, he comes off as completely docile, which I think complements his appearance. Additionally, another thing about Kirby games, there are some surprising undertones to their main characters. King Dedede, Meta Knight, and even Kirby aren't outright heroes in a sense. I see Kirby team up with Dedede more than I see him fighting. Same with Meta Knight. He'll only engage with Kirby if he feels he stands in his way, but they're both fighting for the greater good in their own way. Some of their actions can be viewed as objectively evil or good, but I think that makes for some really cool, nuanced, and fleshed out characters. Now, I asked this question online, and I went to Reddit and many other forums to find out what other people have to say, and what I found was pretty interesting. The first thing I saw came from a user that says they love Kirby games because of how easy it is to pick up, and how tight and responsive the movements are, really making you feel like you're in control of your character, which I think was a priority at the studio that develops Kirby, and Sakurai had to have a hand in that because of the Super Smash Bros. Series, which Kirby was one of the main 6 in, and is still a staple to this day, as you can see with the latest game. Another thing I read is that the copy ability, which is obviously the highlight of these Kirby games, is another thing that makes them so much fun. The music and visuals was touched on a lot. One user says there was a lot of elegance in the game's simplicity. I love how simple the games are, but leave more levels of complexity for the players to find themselves. It's something you don't really see from platformers anymore. I also want to say that during this research I came across 2 responses that I want to highlight. The first user says that consistency, polish, and a lot of love are given to these Kirby games. They're made by some of the veterans that have been in the business for, decades, and the Kirby series has been consistently good in all of the main entries of the series, with Superstar as the shining gem in their opinion. The Kirby series took a jump from that point on, with enough time to keep each entry polished. There's no denying Kirby games continue to be one of the most Nintendo successful and beloved series, because Kirby manages to blend every aspect we love about Nintendo games into one adorable package. Kirby's cool powers and abilities, along with the fun and very hectic combat they bring, fun puzzles using said combat abilities, tight platforming that you can cheese if you want, but cheesing is just slower and it's not as enjoyable. The games are visually quite impressive and can be quite a spectacle. Plot developments that are actually quite surprising, and some of the best music in all of gaming history. And it's all topped off by being consistently fun and enjoyable, with no clear bad games. Honestly, it's just hard not to play a Kirby game and smile. The series is like to Persona 5 of adorableness. It just oozes it at every single turn. And despite that, it manages to have some of the most interesting plot developments and reveals of all Nintendo series, with some of the most rocking and dramatic music. And even despite the cutesy exterior, the games can get very, very brutal if, of course, you accept the challenge. So, personally, what I've drawn from all this is that people don't find Kirby games fun for its thrilling narrative or challenging enemies. They find it fun because of its charm, delivery, and consistency, which were recurring answers to the question I had at the start. Kirby at its core is just a game about an adorable pink creature and his adventures through Dreamland, or wherever he is at that point in the series. The fact that this game can be played by children and adults alike, providing casual, and even some say relaxing gameplay, while simultaneously offering a real challenge for those who choose to accept it, definitely makes Kirby's game stand out by any other Nintendo IP. I know I've said nothing but good things about Kirby games, but they are far from perfect. But I think it's safe to say the good far outweigh the bad. We reached the point of the video where I just want to kind of go off script here and say, playing Kirby in the Forgotten Land, it was really fun. At the time, I had, I think I put over 50 hours into it, and it was one of the first mainstream Kirby games I had played. I had played some of the, like I touched on earlier, that might be the first main entry Kirby game I played before I, of course, went back and played them on the Switch. I didn't really grow up with Kirby. I grew up with, Mario and Donkey Kong, and I never really touched on Kirby. And even like when Kirby Star Allies that came out a few years ago, I never really touched it. But even then I had the question, it's like, well, why do people play Kirby games? Like, and I said that as a person who never even picked up a Kirby game. The first time I probably played as Kirby was in Super Smash Brothers, so it just, that question. And it was interesting to see when I went to make this video, doing the research for it, there were several people in those forums and on Reddit who had the same question as me. Just generally, what makes Kirby so fun to play? And just going off script here and being completely honest, I can tell you that from what I did, it was the gameplay for me, who's someone who isn't a casual gamer. I play games every single day. And to hop on a game like Kirby, and for there to be a casual enough challenge, the levels in themselves are easy, but I wouldn't consider myself a completionist. But if anyone has played the Forgotten Land or any main entry Kirby title, there's a lot more to the levels than just getting to the end. And I gave myself that extra challenge of collecting all the collectibles and finding everything and upgrading all the copy abilities to their max power, and I put myself through that, and even got through the main challenge at the very end, which is fighting several bosses, some of the hardest in the game, back to back. And I can tell you guys right now, what I touched on earlier doesn't even compare to a hands-on aid. Like, you need to play it to see the contrast between here's what the game is, and we're offering players a light, casual, start to finish experience with this game and this character. And once you beat the game, oh, here's what else is available for you should you choose to play it. And that after game stuff, that after credit stuff that is optional for you to do, is dramatically more challenging than the base game. And you have to imagine that's only done on purpose to, like I said, give the player the option. Like once you beat the Kirby game, you're, like, people called it relaxing. I found myself playing Kirby when I got off work, in my downtime. I played it all the way through until I beat it, and the whole time I just thought, this is no real challenge, like I can give this to my 8-year-old brother and he can beat it all the way through, and so beating Kirby was no problem. It was those challenges that they offer you that can be very, very brutal, as one user touched on earlier, which I thought was interesting, that when I asked this question online, everyone kind of had the same response, just in varied ways. It's fun. Oh, excuse me. It's fun. Kirby's cute. The atmosphere and charm is, top notch. The music is great. And so you have that, I think what separates Kirby from a lot of other Nintendo games and just a lot of other maybe games of this nature and games in general is that it offers you that that balance between fun, light, casual gameplay, and also an intense actual gaming challenge that maniacs like myself choose to play, because like I said, those base games in the main entry, like those regular levels, they aren't that good. And you guys probably notice in the if you guys notice this weird audio cut, I apologize for that. If you didn't, let's get back into it. I was trying to say that if you guys probably noticed from the background footage of me playing these games for this video that a lot of the older Kirby games, like, they were challenging, but also like they seemed very cut and dry almost. Like it offered a challenge, but it was still very get here to there. The regular enemies weren't that challenging at all, you know, just your casual world enemies that you can just hop on or inhale and shoot out, and you know, it'd be no problem. But I think in making this video was really fun, and I plan on doing more like it in the future. Like I always say, this isn't really a traditional review, changing up the way I sort of do my videos. Let me know how you guys are liking this new format. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's given me a personal challenge and sticking with my schedule of consistently uploading these videos. It's been really fun to talk about Kirby. I want to know what you guys think about the Kirby games, and what do you think makes them so fun and appealing from your own words, and what game of the series is your favorite. Please leave it down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys for watching so much. If you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and the next video will be a special indie game that I had fun with, and I'm working on that video right now as I'm recording this, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, love you guys, thanks for tuning in, and until my next video, I will see you guys when I see you guys. Thanks for watching.